Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this is from a 2006 grand jury against grand jury, whatever you call it, trial, whatever that thing is, against Jeffrey Epstein. Since that's the biggest talk. I think it's pretty much everywhere, all over my news feed. But anyway, and I'm gonna keep it coming because there's no way we're just gonna let this go. And I mean, like somebody put it on TikTok, if we were a cult, we wouldn't be questioning anything. We would just go blind allegiance. No, hell no. I want answers. That's why I'm posting this stuff. Anyway, let's go on. So pretty much here, this is one of the a redacted witness name. So it's probably one of the children. But anyway, it says Miss Dugan. Uh, this is the attorney. So come on in. We're gonna have you sit over here. And could you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Witness, I do. When you're here testifying, everything is recorded with the microphone system. So you can put your hand down. You have to answer as you did verbally, or you can't shake your head because that won't be recorded in the system that's going, system that's going on. So you have to say yes or no. You can't shake your head. And one important thing is you're here today before the grand jury, and it is a crime to lie to the grand jury. And in our terms, we call it perjury. But in regular people's terms, it's lying to the grand jury. So there's one important rule here today. You must tell them the truth, 100% the truth. There is, because you cannot. There's no penalty for telling the truth. It's the opposite. If it can be shown, proven that you lied to the grand jury, there is a crime of perjury. Do you understand that? The witness, Is that a yes? Yes. Okay, so move up to the microphone a little bit and be sure that you speak yes or no, and so that even the folks in the top of this room can hear your answers, okay? The witness, okay. Examination by Mrs. Balalovic. I don't know. All right. Could you tell us who you are? I'm redacted. How old are you? Redacted 16. What's your birthday? Something redacted 1990. How old were you in February of 2005? I was 14 still, 14 or 15. I was 14 still. Well, this happened when I was 14. So you turned 15 in redacted of that year, and you just turned 16. Yeah. Okay. So we were just short of 15. All right. Where do you live? I live in redacted. Where do you go to school? I'm going to be starting school at redacted. Redacted school. Okay. That's redacted school. Out in go ahead. Something redacted. Okay, where did you go to high school in 2005? Redacted, where is that in redacted? On what road? I redacted. Yeah, probably. What grade were you in 2005 when you were at redacted school? I was in ninth grade. Did you know someone named redacted? Yes. How did you know redacted? I used to date her cousin. All right, how old's redacted? At the time, I think she was 18 or 19, I think. Who was her cousin that you dated? Redacted. Was Redacted going to school at Redacted, or did you know her from outside of school? I knew her from outside of school. How much contact did you have with Redacted? I met her about, I met her the night before I went to Jeffrey's house. Okay. Okay, tell us about the night when you met Redacted. I was with my boyfriend, Redacted, at my house, and her or his aunt lives like 4 streets down from mine. So we went to say hi to his aunt and stuff, and Redacted was there, and I was introduced. Had you met her before that night? At like a family football thing, like they had a family get together for a football game, and she was there. Okay, but I just said hi to her. All right, like I never knew like who she was. Not a lot, not a lot of conversations. Yeah, or it was just kind of like, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, that night you go down there, you meet her. What happens? Yeah, and then it was just kind of a like a regular night, and we were hanging out watching TV, and then like it was like 11:30ish or 10, something like that, and she was like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said nothing. And then she was like, "Oh, well, do you want to make like $200?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then and she was like, "Well, you're going to have to like meet my friend Jeffrey." And he lives in a big, humongous mansion, and like he lives on the water and all this stuff. And then I was like, that's really cool. Sorry, it's all the likes. And then she's like, but you have to give him a massage for like 40 minutes, and that's all you have to do. And you get like $200 for it, and it's really easy. And I was like, okay, like whatever, it's just a massage. And then Redacted was like, he was wondering what happened. And then we were just told him, and he was like arguing with Redacted. And then him and Redacted went to the bathroom for like a couple of minutes to argue. And Redacted had like her boyfriend there. So me and him were stuck in like the living room watching TV, listening to them argue for a couple of minutes. And then they came back out. Then we went outside, and Redacted had called Jeffrey on the phone. And Jeffrey's assistant lady, I don't remember her name, she answered the phone, and she said that she had somebody that could give Jeffrey a massage tomorrow. And the lady asked how old I was and who I was, like what my name was. But Redacted said like I had to be 18. So she told the lady I was 18, and then I went to Redacted and I was a senior and everything. And so the little assistant lady said, like, okay, that's fine. Come in tomorrow. So then I went home. Okay, let me stop you there. Couple things. Okay. Do you know if Redacted and Redacted were, or what they were arguing about? Yeah, because Redacted didn't want me to go because I guess he knew about like his cousin kind of did that already. And did that concern you that Redacted didn't want you to go and you were agreeing to go anyway? Well, yeah, because, well, I was like, I guess, because I was 14 and he was like 16 and stuff. And he was just like, don't go, don't go, don't go. And I was like, well, it's $200. And I was 14 and I was like, $200. So I didn't really care what he said. Okay, and from listening to Redacted, end of that phone conversation, the person at Jeffrey's house was trying to verify that you were at least 18. Mm-hmm. Okay, is that a yes? Yes, sorry. Okay, and but like after she hung up the phone with the lady, she explained to me that what we went back inside the house, and she explained to me that I was going to have to like tell the lady, like make up a lie about my whole life, like that I'm graduating from Redacted already, that I'm 18 and all this stuff, and that I've known Redacted for a long time, like just to make it look like I was older. And so I agreed to do all that stuff. And then I went home for that night, or for the night. And then the next morning, Redacted and another lady, like another teenager girl, I don't remember her name. She was in the truck with her, and like we were leaving my house, and but my dad saw, and I told him we were going to the mall in Palm Beach, and my dad's like, okay, he didn't have a problem, and since it was Redacted or Redacted cousin, he didn't care what I was going, that I was going with Redacted. But he met, like we were leaving, and my dad was coming in the office. They were like pulling into the to my driveway, and he saw Redacted, and Redacted asked my dad for $5 for gas. So my dad said, like, yeah, sure, $5, whatever, and then we left. And then when we got to Jeffrey's house, do you know Jeffrey's full name? Jeffrey Epstein or Epstein or whatever. Where was the house? I like, or excuse me, it's in Palm Beach, whatever. But then when we pull up in the driveway, nobody was there, like Redacted, like he's not home. So we walked up anyways. We all got out of the car, and there was like a gate. that you have to walk into to go to the back door. And there was a little security guard or whatever. And he was like a little officer. He was, and he has a little office or in the back. And he saw us, so he came up to the gate and he asked us what we were there for. And Redacted said Jeffrey. And so the guy was like, okay. And he opened the gate. All three of us went in, like to the back door towards the kitchen, because I guess the kitchen's right there when you open the door. So we were sitting like in a bar like this, and we were waiting for about 15 minutes. And then Jeffrey and the assistant walked in to the back door also. And that's when I first met Jeffrey and we shook hands. And then the lady also introduced herself too. And then the girl, excuse me, and then the lady was talking to Redacted and the other girl for a couple of seconds. And then Jeffrey said, "Who's going to go first or whatever?" And Redacted and the other girl's like, "I don't care." And then Jeffrey's like, "How about you?" Pointing to me. And I was like, okay. And then I was like looking back at Redacted and laughing. And then she was just like scooted her hand to go. And she was laughing too. And I was like, okay. So then we in the kitchen, it was like a little hallway. Not really, but it's like a stairway to go upstairs. And we were walking up there, and the assistant lady walked me up there. And as Jeffrey was talking to them after, I think it says, and then he was pointing out like all these pictures and all this stuff, and then leading me to like a bathroom. It was like really big though, and like there were two closets. And then she went into the one closet and pulled out the massage table and set it out in front like this couch. And then she put like a little blanket or whatever over the massage table. And then she opened up a drawer and there was like a whole bunch of different like lotions for getting massages. And she just picked like a couple of them out and just set them on the vanity table. There was a big mirror on the other wall to the massage table. And then she told me to get well, not undressed, but like put keep your bra and panties on. And I was like, okay. And then she said, "Had Redacted told you about that before?" "No, I thought like it was going to be a massage, like you keep your clothing on." And that when I got in the room, that's when the lady like explained what I would have to do just to get undressed to keep my bra and panties on. And then, "And did you do that?" "Mm-hmm." "Is that a yes?" "Yes." And then to stay in the room for a couple of seconds. And then Jeffrey would come in the room any minute. I'm going to stop here for just a minute. Ugh, this is kind of getting grody. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.